We are now joined by Justin Allgaier, driver of the number 7 Junior Motorsports Chevrolet. Before we open it up to questions, though, I'm going to toss it over to Justin because he has an announcement for us.
Yeah, excited to announce that I'll be back with Junior Motorsports for 2 more years. In the number 7 with Brent Professional Agriculture as a sponsor, and still got a little work left to do in 2024, but looking forward to get started in 2025 and keeping the 17 rolling.
Awesome. All right, we will now open it up for questions. So if you have a question for Justin, please raise your hand and we will get a mic over to you. Let's go to Holly and then Bob.
Thank you. Hi, Justin. Holly Hayne with the NASCAR Fire Service. I guess just kind of the obvious question, catch us up a little bit on how you think the playoffs are going for you and certainly what your expectations are this weekend.
Up until the Roval, which we kind of talked about a little bit last week, but up until the Roval, I thought it was atrocious. And the last 2 weeks have obviously been more in stride with where we feel like we need to be at. You know, last week I told Jim I feel like I know that we're getting back on form because I was upset that we finished 3rd and didn't have a shot at winning the race, or didn't pull off the race win at the end of the race there. But you know, I feel like we're coming into a stretch now where you come here to Homestead, which statistically, I know you guys are all stats people. This hasn't been my greatest racetrack for sure, but we've had speed here. And you know, last year we kind of threw a Hail Mary, and we came with something a lot different than what we would typically run at Junior Motorsports. And I thought it was really good. We unfortunately had a loose wheel and didn't have the finish to show for it, but ironically, we took the lead when the wheel was loose and felt like we had a car that was capable of winning the race. So, you know, we'll kind of regroup this year, but then, you know, last year was obviously super fun at Martinsville and being able to go there and win and lock our way into the round of 4. But you know, we've done such a better job this year of gaining points and putting ourselves in a better position. And I think that I'd like to walk into Martinsville with a few more points on the board than what we had last time. But you know, the top 3, if you exclude AJ, the top 3 I think are close enough in points that, you know, if there are 2 new winners, it could make that last spot really, really difficult to kind of manage. So we'll see what happens, but so far so good.
Let's go to Bob.
Bob, Chris Fox Sports. Was there any reason or any part of you that wasn't planning on coming back?
No, not really. You know, this has been for me a great relationship. You know, Rick Brandt and I have had lots of conversations about what that looks like for them as a company, and you know, Junior Motorsports is a really, really good fit for them, with Dale and Kelly and being a family-owned team, with their company, with you know, Rick taking the reins, and now obviously Sierra Shea being a part of that and taking more on at Brandt. You know, I feel like that this is it's been fun to watch. It's been fun to watch them grow. I mean, when we did this 14 years ago, I never would have thought we'd still be sitting here doing this in this capacity. And you know, I've been lucky enough to see them grow not only, you know, regionally or nationally, but all over the world. And I've traveled to some amazing countries with them. And when I had these conversations with Rick about, you know, is this something that you guys want to continue with? Is this something that makes sense for you? You know, it's a resounding yes, and it's cool to have somebody like the Brandt family that comes to the races. They're here, they're at the track, they're very visible, and they truly have the same passion for the sport that I do, and that makes a big difference. So, yeah, it's good to be back.
Did they ask you, do you want to continue doing this? And
they did.
Response?
Yeah, they did. Actually, Joe Mattis, those of you that know Joe Mattis from Junior Motorsports, I was actually in Campbell's office one day, and he come in and he shut the door and he said, "All right, give me the lowdown. What do you want to do? Where are we at here?" And you know, I think that there were some questions of, you know, how much longer I wanted to do this, what I want to do. You know, I don't know what that looks like. I mean, realistically, in 2 years I'll be 40, right? And I've kind of always said that 40 was my number. I need to make a decision on what I'm going to do. But to be honest with you, in my wildest dreams, I never really expected to get to 40 in this sport and still have an opportunity to come do it. So, you know, I have that opportunity now, and I'm enjoying what I do, and I still feel competitive, and you know, obviously running the 600 this year and being competitive on the Cup side was a lot of fun. You know, so those are all things that I think for me have added to kind of my excitement to keep doing it. The problem is, and to your point, I don't know that they're going to ask me when it's time for me to go. I think it's going to be hey, see you later, bye-bye. And I think we all hit that spot, right? But I also feel like I'll know when that time is and what that looks like. I'm way closer to that time than I have ever been, right? Daughters are both growing up and, missing sporting events and all that fun stuff. I think, for me, when my kids were younger, or even before I had kids, this sport was really easy, because you travel all the time. My wife got to travel with me, and you see the world kind of. And as my kids have gotten older, you realize this sport, and I give a lot of credit to the men and women that work in the sport week in and week out. No different than y'all that do this week in and week out. It's a sacrifice in some ways. It's very rewarding, and there's a lot of things that make the sport what it is. But it's been fun to be a part of it and to be where I'm at today and have the success that I've had, and I wouldn't trade it, but it's definitely a lot different picture than it was 10, 15 years ago.